current county commissioner running for re-election and up on the ballot tomorrow. Tim Chesnut is in studio with me. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, David. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Well, let's talk a little bit about what's changed. I talked with you shortly before the primary. It was a packed primary election for county commissioner candidates. Excuse me. You were able to get through. Now it's 4 for 2 seats here. I guess how have things gone here in the last couple of months, Tim?
Well, I think it's been really busy. It's just a matter of getting out and letting people know what you stand for and why they should vote for you. So I think that's been the big thing, and just trying to get your message out.
You had an unfortunate personal thing. Has that impacted your campaign, do you feel, that happened here not too long ago?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about big things in the county that you feel need to get done right now. What are your big priorities as a candidate here running for re-election?
Well, I think one of the things that's really coming to the forefront right now is the state decided to funnel some money. Actually, the County Commissioners Association decided to get the state to get some money down to fight the opioid crisis, suicide prevention, things like that. So the County Commissioners Association talked to the state, and the local governments are where this work gets done, and people know all the communities in the 23 counties in Wyoming are all different, and getting that money to the counties is the best way to probably find out how to take care of those problems. We have a huge suicide problem in Wyoming, but Albany County is at the forefront because we have such a young population, the university, and we've seen that here. So we're recently in the process of hiring a coordinator to put all that together and see how we can best spend that money to fight the problems that we have in the community.
Well, some people would say, hiring another person, we don't need to spend that money that way. What would your response be to that?
Well, I think the main thing is we don't know at a county level what we're doing.
Okay.
So getting a professional in there that can tell us how the best way to fight that is. We as county commissioners and the department heads in Albany County we're not prepared to do that. So getting someone in there, and we're in a unique position here because we do have the university, to get a professional in here that can see we're using best practices, proven things that are working in other communities, and seeing what can work best here.
Visiting with County Commissioner Tim Chesnut, running for re-election here in 2018. What else is on kind of your agenda here if you get re-elected tomorrow?
Well, I think roads are always a big thing, and right now we're working with a lot of money coming in, possibly with the wind projects. We've got the Boswell Springs project that's actually in the works right now. They're actually doing construction out there right now, and that's going to bring a lot of money into the community. And Rock River itself is going to get more than $3 million, and that's going to transform that community, because a small community like Rock River getting more than $3 million, that's transforming money.
Yeah, it really is. Boswell Springs, where are we talking about there?
Boswell Springs is just north of Rock River on the Fetterman Road.
Okay.
And a lot of the impact money for that, for those things is going to pay for some deputies. It's going to pay for, because it's a large county, and we have over 800 miles of gravel roads, and a lot of that money that we're going to get on the impact money is going to be spent on improving those roads in that area especially.
Okay, all right, we're talking again with Tim Chesnut here. What else comes to mind? As you know, obviously I know we talked last time about the Pilot Hill project. That is coming along. I talked with the chair of that, Senator Rothfuss, not too long ago, just a couple weeks back here now on the program in terms of an update there. I know that's been big on the council's agenda, but what else do we need to be paying attention to in terms of as county residents? Well,
I think one of the things that's going to come to the forefront here this spring is we got a large chunk of money from the state, but then we also got money through the specific purpose tax to reconstruct the north entrance of the courthouse. That's deteriorating. It was built nearly 100 years ago, and most people go up those north steps, and you see those steps were built for when people were around 5 feet tall. You're a tall guy, Dave. You'd have to bend over to touch those hand railings on those steps. So, and they're crumbling from within. The courthouse structure itself is, when we did the reconstruction of the courthouse back in 2002, that's when it started. They told us that building is one of the most solidly constructed buildings, and it's going to last for a long, long time. But the steps themselves are deteriorating, and we're going to start construction on redoing that north courthouse entrance this spring. I think the way it's being designed is spectacular. It's going to be a kind of a changing view of what the courthouse looks like here in the future.
I know some of the folks that are running for county commissioner race here have talked about transparency, maybe changing meeting times. Where do you fall in line in terms of trying to open things up so that people know more about what's going on at the county commissioner meetings, and then maybe possibly changing times so that more folks around the county could You know, whether it's viewed on a stream or come into a meeting, where do you fall there, Tim?
Well, I think one of the things that we haven't done a good job is let people know how they can see the transparency of Albany County government. If you go to the OpenGov site, all of our finances are published there, and they're updated on a weekly basis. So if people want to know what's going on, they can see every voucher that comes to the county and the budgets and things like that. We're also working with some other people. It costs money to do those things, but we're working with some possibly other avenues to get some of the transparency and that public relations out. We are part of the specific purpose tax was to update the courthouse, the commissioners room itself on getting video, audio, and so that will get us up to where we can do live streaming and things like that.
Okay.
So that's something. As far as the meeting times itself, I'm not a proponent in going with evening meetings because one of the things those has a conflict with city council. Okay. We have a lot of things that come up with county meetings in the morning that the city council might pass or not pass that evening. So that's an important thing. And then also, this is a very large county. A lot of the growth that's happening in this county is north, and some of those areas are 70, 90 miles away. And having those people come in at a 7 o'clock meeting in the winter, going back home in those bad road conditions, and I think we'll actually see, once we get live streaming, we'll see what people are tuning in, and we'll see what that is and see if that is important to people. There's been a small poll of about 20 people that came out in Boomerang that showed that people want to do that. That's a pretty small sample size.
Yeah, it really is. Talking again with County Commissioner Tim Chesnut, running for re-election here in 2018. What do you feel differentiates you from your opponents, and why should people re-elect you? I'm going to give you the floor here for a message to the voters here the day before.
Well, I think it's really important in having some historical knowledge of what's going on in the county and the courthouse itself. I saw when I became a commissioner, I learned from people that have been there for a while, and right now that's what I bring is longevity. I talked with the commissioners just a week or two ago that talked about, Heber and Terry talked about how me being on there and seeing a lot of things that have happened in the past, that it's cyclical, things come back around, and my knowledge of where those are going, I can help them move on with their knowledge moving forward as being commissioners.
Well, I know that you've touted being part of government for a while. You feel that's okay though? I mean, because some people will say, you know, maybe there should be term limits. Maybe you've run your course, so to speak, but you feel you're okay because of the experience piece?
Yeah, I think it's important, and you know, the state Supreme Court said term limits are unconstitutional in the state. So, you know, I think term limits are important, internal term limits. I enjoy the job. I think the people of Albany County have seen that I do a good job. I hope they see that moving forward. And if they don't, and that'll show up tomorrow.
Well, good luck to you tomorrow. Good luck to everybody. We'll finally know come Wednesday morning, probably.
Thanks. Get out and vote. If you need, give me a call. My number is 307-760-5171. If you need a ride to the polls, I'd be happy to take it.
Well, Tim, good luck tomorrow. Appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, David.